Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Max with BuzzTox here, and I am back with a Westworld Season 2, Episode 8 trailer breakdown video. In these videos, I break down the latest trailer for the upcoming episode of Westworld and give my thoughts and predictions of what to expect. Now this episode trailer is very different because it focuses in on one character that we haven't seen a lot of. And it seems like this whole trailer is pretty much focusing on Akecheta and his journey to find his own inner center, finding his own consciousness. And by the looks of this trailer, it looks like they're trying to introduce Akecheta as a brand new main character. We've obviously seen him a part of Ghost Nation this whole season, but we also know that he is a first-gen host. We see him with Angela when they're pitching the idea of Westworld to Logan. And that makes a lot of sense because we're seeing these Gen 1 hosts essentially hit consciousness or find that journey to consciousness first, because they have 35 years of reveries to look back upon. And what we find with this character is that he's actually very similar to Dolores. Last season we focused on Dolores finding her own inner center. And it seems like next episode we're going to learn about Akecheta finding his own inner center during the same timeline that Dolores found her own sense of consciousness. And one of the centers of Akecheta finding his consciousness is centered in Escalante. And this is a very important location. It's where Arnold was killed. And it's where Dolores found her own inner center. And we see the jumping of back and forth between Akecheta looking normal versus him painted in the Ghost Nation in modern time. And these are reveries where Akecheta is going back and revisiting these memories that he has. And that's just a part of the maze, finding your own center. He sees the white horse that resembles his past, and he's constantly pursuing that. And we see him jump between different timelines. We see him look at dead Arnold. This must be the very moment, or maybe a couple days after Dolores was programmed as Wyatt to kill Arnold. So it shows us that this character, Akecheta, has been looking over his loops and pursuing that inner maze for 35 years. And then we see him flash and look at Ford, where he's dead in the present timeline. And this just shows the parallels of past and present. And it's kicking forward all those reveries and bringing him to consciousness. And that's what's so key in Westworld is constant loops and history repeating itself. 35 years ago, Dolores shot and killed Arnold. And now in the present timeline, Dolores shot and killed Ford in the exact same place. And these parallels only benefit Akecheta on finding his own sense of consciousness. And if you look at Ford, he's not decayed. So we know that this is right after the gala shooting took place. And it suggests that there's 2 weeks between when he finds Ford and when we know he pursues Maeve and William. So within that span of 2 weeks, he could have found himself, found consciousness. And it seems like he's very self-aware as he talks to Maeve and tells her that they're destined for the same path. But then we see the introduction to him learning about the maze. As soon as he walks past dead Arnold, he walks into the bar. We see Bernard's glasses and we see the maze, the toy that his son used to play with. And this jump-started Akecheta in understanding what that is. And as soon as he sees the maze, it flashes for him to remember every moment he's seen the maze. And I think this is tricky editing. The first time he saw it was when he saw dead Arnold and he saw the maze in the bar. And then throughout all of his reveries, he's been constantly experiencing this maze. He sees it in the skull of every person who he scalpels. And he saw it with Maeve when she died amongst William. And we see him waking up in the mesa, and that's the exact same journey that Maeve went on. The difference here is that it seems like Maeve was programmed to wake up by Ford, so she could push the storyline forward. Or a plot twist that we may learn is that Ford, just like Maeve, has programmed Akecheta to push his plot forward. It would make sense for Ford to want Akecheta to feel self-aware, because he's the leader of the Ghost Nation, who specifically is tasked to defending the humans. And now it seems like the role is to escort all the potential and valid hosts to the Great Valley Beyond. And one thing I want to stress with this trailer is we see a true connection between Maeve and Akecheta. Obviously, we know that Akecheta played a huge involvement in Maeve's sense of suffering. She always goes back to the moment where she's being scalpeled by the Ghost Nation, where they come in and try and take her daughter away. But these connections run deeper, because just as Akecheta has helped Maeve reach her own inner center by providing the suffering to push her into the maze, Maeve has helped with his sense of self-discovery. It's the torture of Maeve where he got to see the maze once again that we see in this trailer. And the trailer ends with Maeve opening her eyes. So I think that this is just interesting because these characters have very true connections. They both ended up waking up in the mesa. They both enact on each other to help push each other into their own center. And now in the last episode, we saw Akecheta tell Maeve that they are destined for the same path. And that path could potentially be to the Great Valley Beyond, or that path could be in the maze, and that path leads to their own center, because I believe, like I've said a million times, Maeve has not reached consciousness. And we'll see next episode if Akecheta has reached consciousness himself. But it doesn't seem like it because he's on that journey. He's looking at his past reveries. He's experiencing suffering. These are all staples of finding your own inner center. But the one true question I have is, how are they going to reach that center? Is him and Maeve destined for the same path because they're on that journey to find their own sense of consciousness? Or these characters have this weird connection because Ford programmed them both to serve his own personal storyline? And now that they're free, they can find that center of the maze. But regardless, I think we're going to see these two characters come back together. I don't think the Ghost Nation just take Maeve's daughter for no reason. I think Akecheta understands and knows that Maeve is an important role in what he has to do next. Taking her daughter, her cornerstone, will ensure that he'll be able to come back to Maeve. And that proves what he said on and on again. They're destined for the same path. He takes Maeve's daughter, so Maeve is going to chase him. And I think that's exactly what Akecheta wants, for Maeve to come to him. And one other interesting concept I'm considering is, should hosts hold grudges? Maeve is obviously very upset with Ghost Nation and Akecheta, but based on this trailer, he seems like a good person. I find this a very interesting concept, as Maeve and Akecheta are meant for the same path, but Maeve is holding a serious grudge on Akecheta for what he's done to her daughter. But those aren't things that he did himself. He was programmed to do those things. So it will be interesting to see if these hosts can forgive the people who have caused them the most pain. We also get imagery in Escalante that I found interesting. We see a vulture, and I think that this represents Ford. Just like the poster, he's the all-seeing eye. He's always there, and he's always around, and he has his hand in everything. And I think Ford's hand can be seen in who Akecheta is as a person. We see that Akecheta has a wife, and we see that before all of this, he was looking at the Great Valley Beyond. So he probably knows that this is a destination of significance by Ford. And we see that his wife seems almost shocked and surprised when she sees this Great Valley Beyond. And we know that he's heading there in the upcoming episodes, and we know Dolores is going to go there and then flood it, which results in the present timeline where we see all these hosts floating in this water. But then there's the key to every host, is that there's suffering. Akecheta sees his wife being taken away from him by men in a white car. And they're wearing the typical white garb and red boots that Felix and Sylvester wear. And this is probably Akecheta's cornerstone, and this is him experiencing suffering. And that suffering is key in, once again, him finding his own inner center. And Akecheta says, "The past was calling me, but before I could understand it, they took it away from me." But what's so funny is that's perfect timing. He could never understand the past, and he could never understand his reveries and achieving consciousness, until he had everything taken away from him, because that's suffering. Just by this one quote that Akecheta says, it proves that suffering is the thing to push consciousness forward. And I find that very interesting. But we'll see if he's on the path or if he actually reaches consciousness. But one other key shot we see is Akecheta traveling alone through what looks like a desert, but I know that it's sand just on the brink of Westworld. And you can see in the background the Great Valley Beyond is there. So it seems like he's traveling to that destination. And if you want to know why all these shots I'm noticing the Great Valley Beyond, is because of the rock formations in the background. But one other key point here of him traveling along this road is that he finds an individual strung up to a tree. And based off this trailer, I actually can't wager a guess on who this is. It could be a human, or it could be a host on the journey of the maze. But only next episode will give us the answers. But that is it for me, everybody. Please let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I'm really interested in hearing what you think will happen this next episode. Sorry my explained video is a little late. I'm getting settled in my new house. It should be out tomorrow. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.